John Barr. Hope you're doing random. Hope you're doing random. Hope you're doing quirky. Hope you're doing epic bacon. Whatever it was that we valued back in 2012. Hope you're doing that. Speaking of relics from the ancient past, Bill Maher just started a podcast. I don't think Bill Maher has ever been anybody's favorite late night host, but clearly some people like him because the show keeps getting renewed over on HBO. They in fact just gave him a new stand-up special called #Adulting. But now Bill has decided to expand his media empire over to YouTube. That's what today's video is all about. Bill Maher's brand new podcast called Club Random. These days, I feel like a lot of the new podcasts that we see tend to fall into one of two categories. There's the podcast of lesser-known actors from a really well-known TV show trying to be like, hey, remember how you used to like us and pay attention to us? More of that, please. And then on the other hand, you have stand-up comedians looking to enter their Joe Rogan era. And because Bill Maher is not really known from any well-liked TV shows, it's only natural that he would fall into the Joe Rogan category. And I know it might sound crazy for me, somebody who has never listened to the Joe Rogan podcast, to say that what Bill Maher is doing on his show is the exact same. But I want you to look at these two thumbnails and tell me that there's a difference. Now let's go ahead and play the trailer for this podcast.
Hi, I'm Bill Maher, and I'm speaking to you from the undisclosed location I like to call Club Random.
Oh boy, nothing really helps sets the mood and makes you feel right at home, quite like an old man in his half-furnished basement saying, I'm not gonna tell you where this is, but welcome.
I don't like clubs, although I like Club Random.
Oh yeah, that's a weird running theme in this podcast, is that specifically Bill really acts like his half-furnished basement is anything close to a club, which is very comical, because absolutely not. Club Random is not a thing like a nightclub. It's much more like a cross between a country club bar and the second location that your kidnapper takes you to.
There's something about sitting at a bar in a club in a nighttime setting with just one person that produces the rawest, realest conversations I can imagine.
Oh yeah, there's nothing like trying to talk one-on-one with somebody in a club. Those are always super good conversations that everyone is able to hear happen. Yeah, man, what do you think of cancel culture? What do you think of cancel culture? What's up, bro? No, what do you think of politics? Oh, dude, I love the Knicks, dude. Absolute favorite medical drama. Hey, bartender, 2 more $30 vodka tonics, please.
Having to negotiate with a child for what restaurant you're going to go to.
Let's not forget,
that is astoundingly. I don't know why I'm so mad.
I also don't understand why you're mad about that at all. The idea of trying to go to a restaurant where your kid wants to eat? Thank God Bill Maher never had kids. If the concession of going to a restaurant where butter noodles are an option is such a huge deal breaker for this dude.
Club Random. Right. Come get your treat.
Club Random.
What did she say there? Once again, nothing screams that this is a fun podcast with club energy, quite like the guest for the stinger of your podcast trailer being like, hey, Club Random, come get it. I love it here. Now, it seems like the main purpose of this podcast, on top of just capitalizing on Joe Rogan's fame, is to assemble the just absolute worst blunt rotation of all time. Nobody really wants to hear Bill Maher have some like off-the-cuff, candid conversations with people, because nobody's invested in Bill Maher as a personality to have interesting conversations with him. What are people supposed to get invested in with Bill Maher? Do you think anybody cares about Bill Maher's friendship with Dr. Drill? No! Anyway, let's start looking at some of the actual clips from the show, starting with a clip of Bill Maher and Quentin Tarantino talking about conservative comedy, specifically with that Fox show Gutfeld.
Talk to me more in detail. What do you think about him per se?
I mean, we did a bit on that. I don't remember talking about it because, honestly, I don't know it.
I'm mostly including this clip where he's like, oh yeah, I didn't actually watch any of Gutfeld, I just wanted to do a bit on it. Because now, in case anyone's like, oh, John, how come you're only making fun of clips of the podcast, not a full episode? Because that's what Bill taught me. All right, so if you fucking like this guy, you have to like my reasoning. I've caught you in a logic trap. Ha
But he went hard right with his politics. And so he was doing bits about how, Nancy Pelosi.
Quentin, calm down, buddy. He just said the name Nancy Pelosi. Let's lower the brakes a little bit.
At a moment in history when Sarah Palin was giving people on the left tons of material because she was an idiot.
Right, yeah.
Nancy Pelosi is not an idiot.
All right, Quentin, now you can start laughing. Because yes, Nancy Pelosi does do some stupid things. You know this, Bill. You absolutely must know this because you also have a clip of your podcast called Not Bending the Knee to Wokeness where you have a picture of Nancy Pelosi. Hey.
Because they have material.
They have, look.
Speak.
It has the feeling of it does have a feeling of the whatchamacallit, the Wally George show. All right.
Shit.
But that's actually insincere because
We're out of
I
time.
won't talk about his show for that much on this show.
Oh, I don't care.
Oh boy, and this is why I'm mostly watching clips, because this is something that, Bill is putting up on his own podcast channel to promote the show, and I cannot imagine anybody watching this clip and going like, I want to see the whole episode of Quentin almost having something to say before Bill Maher is just like, no, let me get this. And then at the very tail end, he's like, all right, Quentin, now you can finally speak. Only because he then has to start hunting for his weed like a goddamn truffle pig.
I was leaving.
No, but you're drilling my thought. Let me finish. Okay. So it's like,
Well, that's my job.
No, it's not. It's not actually your job to interrupt your guest's thoughts with your own dumb inserts. You're supposed to listen to them, interview them, and then make jokes along the way. You're not just supposed to interrupt. That'd be like if James Corden was doing carpool karaoke and anytime his guest started singing, he was like, no! Now how dare you cut into me time? It's my time to sing, so it is. It is kind of fascinating to see that Bill Maher has gotten so far as a, late night host and now as a, interviewer type comedian, considering that he is so awful at his job. That's really incredible. I want to have some good faith when I talk about this guy, just because if all I'm doing is watching things that make me mad, I will go mad. And there is one clip so far of everything that he's posted on his YouTube channel. There's one clip I like so far, and it is a clip of him talking about when he was starting out in stand-up comedy, one thing that he's learned since doing it, and it's the idea of getting a character laugh as a stand-up comedian. A joke that is based around you and your personality. That is a legitimately interesting idea, and I want to thank Quentin Tarantino so much for being the guest on the podcast where he does a good job of interviewing Bill Maher to get that one interesting tidbit out. I don't understand why Bill knows this and still chooses to make the majority of his jokes about how he hates young people. One thing is for certain, and that's that if you are under the age of 35, Bill Maher probably wants to punch you in the face. He hates us, dude.
You don't even have to love Carlin to begin with, but if you do, of course, it's even more amazing. He's still quoted tons on social media.
Every week he trends, and he's been dead for 15 years.
That's so rare, especially among the younger generations who were not like us, who don't, we cared about older people, and even if they weren't around anymore, if they were interesting. Whereas I feel like the younger generations, it's like, if you're not around while I'm around, you don't exist.
Are you sure you feel this way, Bill? Because I feel like you also just did a clip recently where you were complaining about the cancellation of historical figures and that young people cared too much about people that weren't around anymore. So why do you think that is? That transitions us into one of the episodes of this show that first really gave me some serious heebie-jeebies about how bad it was, which is Bill Maher's episode with Bella Thorne.
The coming analogy for women,
Coming.
to come for a woman,
Come,
to
yes.
get into.
I love the way Bill said, "Oh yeah, come, yeah, women can come. I know that women come, and I know how to make them do that. That's something I'm definitely. Is it hot in here? Where'd the pot go?" Bella Thorne is the youngest person to appear on the podcast as of the date of recording this video, which I'll put right here for you. Hello, welcome to the date. And maybe in the full episode, Bill is a little bit more charitable, let's say, maybe a little bit more good faith in his conversations with Bella. But for the things that he wanted to clip out as a way to promote his podcast, the thing that he wanted to show is like, this is what my podcast is like, he just cannot help himself. Let's go ahead and start with a banger of a clip. What if kids today dealt with world trauma?
I wonder what would happen if you kids had to go through something really traumatic, like what they're going through in Ukraine now.
Oh, cool. What a cool, good start to a clip. What a cool first 6 seconds of a clip.
We're obsessing about this bullshit about breakups and this one and that one and what they're wearing and who looks cuter and who is 2 pounds too fat and all this bullshit. And it would help you.
What does he mean, would that help you? Kids today, they care too much about breakups. Those little hormone monsters who are just learning about relationships. They're far too invested in their teenage breakups. Maybe we should send you all to war. The sheer amount of old man brain rot that you've got to have to be like, yeah, I think therapy is just kind of stupid. I don't really believe in any of those holistic medicines. I think the only thing that can really help people that are anxious is enlisting. Might be a national baby formula shortage, but there's no shortage on military rations, so maybe that's what you should eat. That'll show you for not wanting to eat at my favorite restaurant for your birthday, you pesky dumb kid. I just realized it's unironically like that Will Sennett TikTok where he's like,
I sure would love some breakfast right now. Too bad I can't have it, because I didn't fight in the Iraq War.
It would help you.
This is an extremely bold take from somebody that has himself lived through quite a few wars, haven't you, Bill? I better not find out you ever cared about a teenage breakup when you could have been fighting in the War of 1812. If I find out you ever cared about a teenage breakup, Bill, ooh, I'ma slug ya. In no world am I gonna say that young people are not worth making fun of. 1000% they are. You just wanna be like, hey, any person that's younger than me, anything that they care about is fucking stupid. And that's why I get a little bit miffed, especially in this clip. Because right after Bill Maher says that, Bella Thorne starts opening up about the fact that she was sexually abused as a child, about the death of her father, and then watching Bill Maher have to, like, half backtrack on it, it's embarrassing.
When you kind of look at a book and you judge it by its cover and you say, oh,
I'm not judging at all.
What do you mean you're not judging? This clip started with you being like, all you stupid kids today have to go to war because none of you care about anything important and you're all too privileged and too anxious. That sounds a little bit judgy to me. Poor Bella. Bella just got invited on a show, presumably to plug one of her upcoming projects and smoke some weed. And now this old man is hounding her about, like, you've never gone through anything in your life. And we haven't even gotten into this clip yet. Let's talk about one of his most popular clips here on his YouTube channel. Bella Thorne gets offended by this Bill Maher joke. One of the classic clickbait kind of topics. Can't wait to see what new insights Bill brings into it. Oh, golly.
I think there's some money to be made in some sort of exchange with everyone switching where, like, if you need a penis, take a penis. If you have a penis, give a penis. Like if people are becoming like men to women, they're going to cut off their penis. And then there are women transitioning who are going to need a penis. I feel like if there was some exchange, maybe Bitcoin could be involved. And you could, no?
Huh? What? Let me make a joke about at the expense of trans people by comparing them to a take a penny, leave a penny, like, bodega tray. That's not a good joke. That's just fundamentally a bad joke. And Bella agrees with that.
I just don't like joking about.
Oh, Bella.
I know that you
Bella.
like to, but I
This
I
is
don't
where
think
the
it's
anxiety.
funny.
Oh, for
I
fuck's
don't
sake!
think it's funny.
What a shame.
What do you mean, what a shame? What a shame that she doesn't want to make jokes at the expense of trans people with you. She doesn't even say he's not allowed to do it. She just says, I know you like making those kinds of edgy jokes. I do not like making those kinds of jokes. and Bill Maher gets into such a hissy fit. It is incredible.
That is where you're
sorry.
That is, you don't have to be sorry, but I'm not sorry
think it's
either.
funny.
And that is where your anxiety comes from.
Yeah, immediately. He's just like, oh no, you don't have to be sorry. I understand that it's a personal preference, but this is why you're a dumb, anxious, dork, loser, idiot who's not as cool and smart as me.
There is nothing wrong with joking. Nothing wrong about that. It's not everybody is that sensitive. Not everybody needs to be that sensitive. Even the people who are doing that, I don't think would need to be offended by that. Everybody is so easily offended.
So first of all, again, from Mr. I'm not judgy, huge just blanket statements going out left and right. Everybody these days is too sensitive. Second off, he says, I don't even think people who go through that would be offended by that. I'd love to hear how many trans folks Bill Maher has talked to and tried telling that joke in front of to see exactly how offended they would or would not be. You did say correctly, it's okay to joke. That is a sentence that also doesn't really mean anything. Thirdly, cannot stress enough the very clear hypocrisy at play by Bella, who doesn't like the joke, simply saying, hey, I didn't like that joke very much. Not my personal cup of tea. It's fine that it's yours. And Bill Maher gets so offended in comparison. There's a clip that I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit it into this video with just the subject matter that I talk about. But there's a clip where Bill is talking with Dr. Drew about how he very much identifies as like a democratic, liberal kind of person. And he asks Dr. Drew like, oh yeah, everybody, you know, these days is calling me this and that. Haven't I earned a little bit of good faith? No, you haven't, because of shit like this. You don't automatically get my trust just because you say that you generally think you're a liberal when you're out here making jokes regularly at the expense of trans people. Especially because even though you say in this clip with Bella that like, oh yeah, no, I'm totally fine with trans people, you are laughing your little dumb butt off with Piers Morgan when he makes the one and only conservative joke about, oh, I identify as a attack helicopter, I don't.
I know we earned a little trust.
Well, I'd like to identify right now as a two-spirit penguin. And there was a...
Not to mention the fact that in the thumbnail for this clip, they put in a picture of Leah Thomas. They put her in the thumbnail because very clearly, Bill, you don't actually give a shit about trans people.
I don't know if you're really offended or you're just worried that you're going to look offended.
Oh my God, empathy is such a foreign concept to this old Raisin Bran looking motherfucker that he's like, oh, I don't know if you actually care about trans people or if you just want to look like you care about trans people. You're allowed to care about trans people, Bill. I know you don't, but there's actually quite a few of us out here who do.
You know? And anyway,
Speak.
it's good that we can agree to disagree.
Then why did you get so... Especially considering you have also a clip in that exact same goddamn episode whining and moaning about how you used to get bullied in high school.
Kids are assholes. I had terrible anxiety. I went to school every day with a knot in my stomach. There was one kid who was made fun of unmercifully, and sometimes, for reasons I still to this day don't know, sometimes it wasn't that kid and it was some other kid, and sometimes that kid was me.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Nuh-uh. You're telling me that your main... The source of anxiety when you were a kid is that you were the fucking third string bully subject? You were so nervous as a kid and now hate kids to this day because sometimes when 3 other kids weren't around, some kids would give you a little bit of a cold shoulder? You fucking baby. You little infant old man. You Benjamin Button-ass motherfucker.
You know, if you had to pick a song to sing for the Pledge of Allegiance or something, they wouldn't do yours.
If you had to pick a song for the Pledge of Allegiance? The Pledge of Allegiance isn't a song! What kind of school did you go to where they're like, all right, kids, this is where we pick the Star-Spangled Banner. So if anyone has a song that they want to sing for the Star-Spangled Banner this time, not you, Bill! My dude cannot stop being shitty to young women. Maybe it's because he got bullied one time for having sex with a woman and she was like, you do not know how to make me come, and he was like, ow! No wonder Bill Maher never got married. Gee, I wonder why. Oh wait, there's a There's a whole clip of his episode with William Shatner called Why Bill Maher Never Got Married.
Why didn't you get married?
Because it's stupid. I mean, because it's fucking stupid. I mean, who's happy with it? Everyone gets divorced. There's a book out now. Have you seen this? It's been reviewed everywhere.
No.
It's a book where this woman shits on her husband for 250 pages.
Okay, so a lot of this clip is just Bill going on a tirade about the one book he's ever read. Fair enough.
That's just the way it is. I think I was hurt when I was in high school dumped by my first high school girlfriend. And I think at that moment, something in me went, don't ever put your eggs in that basket for happiness.
Oh, no. No, no, 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 no. You want to have a whole conversation with Bella Thorne about how young people today should go to war in Ukraine because they care too much about silly things like breakups? Just to then turn around and say, I've never gotten married because I'm still traumatized over a fucking high school breakup? I'ma slug ya! But hey, silver lining is that I'm glad he exposed just how hypocritical he is within these few episodes that he's already uploaded, because now I don't have to wait for him to upload his Adam Carolla episode. I get to never think about this podcast again. That's good for me. Sorry for some of the different lighting in this video. I wound up filming this on a second day where there wasn't as much sunlight, and I'm only so good at doing this right now. But I also wanted to come back and try and add a little bit more of a conclusion to this video beyond just Bill Maher sucks shit. It was hard, let me tell you. To a certain extent, it really seems like Bill Maher's whole thing is just being angry about the progress of time. He's so obsessed with the way that young people look at what came before them and what was in the past, because he knows the past is where he lives. He knows that he's not really that relevant. That's why he has to consistently come out with these hot take bait posts for his show. That's why he now has to make a new show that is just copying Joe Rogan. For a guy who ostensibly knows that there's a lot of comedy to be mined from making fun of oneself, so much of his comedy is just punching down. Especially with that absolutely pathetic excuse that he gives himself for his awful trans joke of, oh, it's okay to joke about things. He's just one of many ultra-rich comedians who love to talk all this smack about how they're actually more intelligent, they're the modern-day philosophers, the only people who dare to speak truth to power, and how comedy is such an important art form and profession, up until somebody calls them out for a dumb and bad joke, in which case, oh, it's just a joke. I'm just making I'm a little jokey baby. I need to go to your baby West once. It's a coward's excuse to act like you're so important and your profession is so noble, up until the point somebody tries to hold you accountable for the things that you say, in which case, immediate deflection. I don't know, maybe let's just leave it at, hey, if you want to do comedy, don't take yourself so seriously, you know? Make more jokes about yourself. So I hope that is a fun lesson that you can take away from this video of me making fun of somebody else. Oh. I hope you, if you watched all of it, enjoyed at least most of it. And if you liked the video, maybe consider pressing the like button. They made a button just for that feeling. Also, there's the subscribe button if you want to see any other kind of videos that I make in the future, because I plan to make at least a couple more. I'll also toss up 2 videos at the end that you can click on to watch. Both will be shorter than this, I promise. Anyway, I gotta go fight my son over where we're eating for dinner tonight. He wants to go to Chili's, but I want to go eat in my car out front of my ex-wife's house. So I'll see you all next time for another one of these videos. Let's go, Johnny Jr. We're eating strip club hot dogs, and you're gonna like them.